Hi guys, I wanted to show you the temperature controller that I built for my marine tank. When I started the tank, I noticed that it was quite hard work to keep it under control, the temperature, mainly because the thermostats on heaters are so bad that, when they, even if the needle's pointing to 26, it could carry on heating up to 27, even 28. And then you just find yourself having to manually tweak the thermostat every now and then. So they're rubbish, really. They're not really very accurate at all. So I was looking around online for things that may do the job, and I found the STC-1000 temperature controller, which seems to be quite a common controller that people are using for aquariums. So I bought one of these, and it came, and it would have done the job if I wired it all up to my heating and my fans and stuff, but I wanted to go one step further and make it a bit swanky. So I saw somebody else who'd done something similar to this online. I just wanted to do something that maybe looked a bit better and just had some cool features. So I mounted the STC-1000 in this IP56 rated electrical box. I've added a LED power switch which just does the power for the entire unit. And then I've got the outlet for heating, outlet for cooling, cheesy little LED lights to show you which is on at any one time, because on the STC-1000 it does have a little LED next to heat and cool, but I just wanted something a bit more obvious. Not really any real reason for it, just it just looks cool. One thing I've also done is, if anyone who owns the STC-1000 knows that it has, of course, a temperature probe. That's usually just wired straight into the back of it, but what I've done is added a nice little 3.5mm socket up here for a jack, and then, as you'll see in a second, the temperature probe just plugs in there. So it's a nice little touch, and it just makes the whole unit nice and plug and play. So if you need to move it or anything, you don't have to unplug it. You don't have to de-wire anything. So it's nice and portable. So I'm going to open it up in a second and show you what's going on inside and how I built it. And I'll list all the parts as well in the description, so that you can, if you wanted to build one of these yourself, you can go ahead and do it. Okay, so inside we've got spaghetti junction. The STC-1000 comes with this little cover. I'll take that off to show you what's going on underneath. So yeah, if anyone who owns one of these, you'll know that on the top it has a little wiring diagram to show you what to do. I'm aware that's upside down, sorry about that. So yeah, you just wire in your power supply, the temperature probe, and your heating and your cooling. There is a misconception about the STC-1000 in that people think that it is a power supply as well. So when you route your power into it, that it'll actually power your heating and your cooling. But that's not the case. This literally just acts as a switch. So whatever you put, you just put it in the line of the circuit and it just switches on and off. So yeah, don't expect it to power your devices on its own. There's no actual throughput, so this is why I had to wire it in such a way that it would splice the one inlet to power the unit and both of the outlets. So what's going on here basically is the power comes in, the earth just gets spliced off straight away and just goes to each of the outlets, because that's the only thing that's earthed in here, and then the power, the live and neutral, goes straight to the switch. Out of the switch, on the load side, I've got 3 lives coming off of it. One live is going to here, which powers the STC-1000. The second live goes into here, which is the live for my heating, and then the third is the live for my cooling. Then what we've then got, see, this can, because this is, as I say, just a switch, so the live then comes back out and then goes down to the live for the heating outlet, and then the same for the cooling. So the live comes out of there to the live of the cooling outlet. Then off the neutral side, I've got 2, I believe, because one is for the STC-1000, and then the other one simply goes down to the first outlet, and then just I've got another cable just ganging that onto the second one. And then off of each outlet, I've just got these 2 cables which go and just power. So this is wired in parallel, and it just powers the lamps off of each outlet. So whenever this one's powered on, it will also charge the light there as well. So that's basically it in terms of wiring. That's what's going on. So it's pretty simple, to be honest. Obviously, also, I forgot to mention the temperature probe just goes in there, and then it goes and is soldered onto the 3.5mm jack. I also put in a little grommet there for the power cable to tidy things up. Be careful when you cut out the holes for the various things. You have to mark it out properly, and also just make sure you've got the right tools, such as if you've got some kind of jigsaw that you can use, or even like a Dremel or something. At least have a drill. I actually didn't have anything to hand, and I actually managed to do all of this using a Leatherman knife. It's not particularly safe at all, and it did take a long time. I really don't know why I didn't just make life easier for myself and went out and got proper tools, but there you go. I persevered. So that's basically it. Let me put it back together and I'll get it under the tank, and then we'll see how it works. Okay, so here's the tank, and this is where I sit my temperature controller. As I said in my overview video of this setup, eventually I'm going to get a better cabinet. And this the temperature controller will be mounted up on the back, and it will look nice and neat and tidy, but for the time being it just sits down at the bottom here. Let me just get that out of the way. So it just sits in here next to the canister filter. So yeah, so we can plug it in to the mains. Goes into my power strip at the top, and then if I switch it on, you'll see how it panics because it hasn't got the temperature probe plugged in. But if I plug that in using the jack that I attached there, it settles down and starts reading the temperature. And then of course, I'm going to try and do this one-handed. No, I'm not going to be able to. 1 second. Okay, and now I've got my fans plugged in here and my heater plugged in here. So effectively, I don't know if you've seen any videos on how to program the STC-1000 if you haven't got one yourself, but basically I've set it at 26.5 with a 0.5 margin either side, so if it goes up to 27 it's going to turn on the fans, and if it goes below 26 or 26 and below, it will turn on the heater. So obviously it's within the margin now, so it's not doing anything, but it's been working fantastically. And I don't think my temperature's ever been above 27 on the dot. It's as soon as the fans come on, it brings it right back down. It's always climbing in this room because this room's pretty hot. We're in a top floor flat here, so it always just sort of climbs up to 27, and then the controller kicks in and brings it back down to 26.5. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how nicely it works with the heating in winter. But we hopefully won't get to see that for a while. I'll give you a quick overview of the programming. Basically, if you press and hold the S button, you'll get what's like a menu, and there's F1, F2, F3 and F4. F1, I have to try and remember this now, F1 is your target temperature. F2 is, I believe, if I press S it will show me, yeah, so 0.5, so that's what my leniency is set to. I don't know how to get back now. Okay, let's just go back into the menu. So yeah, F1 your temperature, F2 your margins, F3 I think is let's have a look, 1, right, so this is the delay. You can set a delay so that if you've got a fridge or any kind of cooling element plugged in here, it won't kick it in straight away if it's only just been on. You can set up to I think up to like a 10-minute delay or something on there. I have mine set to 1, which seems to be 0 because with my fans plugged in, as soon as it gets above the margin, it kicks in straight away. So I think 1 is the equivalent of 0. I'm not sure why. And then F4, I believe, is calibration. So that's like an offset. So basically, if you have a really super accurate thermometer, you can use it to test against this, and then you can adjust accordingly. But I haven't had to do this. The temperature seems spot on, so I think out of the box they're pretty accurate. Okay, so if I wanted to change my target temperature or program it for the first time, what I'm going to do is press and hold the S button until I get to the F menu. Then with F1 selected, I can press S again, and then that will show me what it's currently set to. Now to change it, what you have to do is press and hold S, and then you can change it using the up and down keys there to whatever you want it to be, and then when you've got it to what you want, then you just press the power button to lock it in. And that's the same for all the F values, 1, 2, 3 and 4. They're all changed in the same way. So nice and simple, really reliable, and I think I can give you a demonstration of it working. So so obviously now there's no need for any heating or cooling because it's within my margin, but if I were to grab the temperature probe from the tank and put my fingers around it to simulate heat, it's now going to go above 27, and there we go. The cooling's kicked in and my fans are now spinning. So if I then take the temperature probe out of the tank, we're going to now see the temperature drop, and when it goes below 27 we should see, no sorry, when we get down to 26.5 we'll see the cooling switch off. There we go. And now if it continues to drop below 26 we get heating, and you can see my heater's turned itself on. So yeah, working really well. Really pleased with it. So if I drop that back into the tank now, I'll fix it to the back again in a minute. We should now see it climb up, and when we get, I think it's when we get back up to 0.5, we'll see that heating cut out. There we go, target temperature. So yeah, really pleased with it. I'm gonna list all the parts that I used to build this, so that you guys can either build it yourself or get somebody to build one for you. And yeah, it's just a really nice addition to any setup, and it would really look the part. It looks a bit cheesy with my small tank, a 70 litre tank here, but it would really look the part on a big, you know, sort of something like a 200 or 300 litre tank or bigger. But the thing is with this is that it's so plug and play that if I got a bigger tank, it's just fully transitional. I can just use it on any setup. So there you go. I hope this video helped for anyone hoping to build something like this. If you have any questions at all, do just put them in the comments and I definitely will answer them. Thanks a lot guys, see you later.